There appears to be more to Angie Stone's tragic death than we previously realized, because Jaguar Wright recently revealed some shocking information about how much goes on behind the scenes. As you are all aware, we can always count on Jaguar to reveal some of the most shocking secrets that the most influential people in the industry would prefer to stay hidden. And this time is no exception, as she is now asserting that Angie's death wasn't an accident, but rather that she was allegedly connected by some extremely influential people in the industry. It's interesting to note that just a few weeks prior to Angie's death, Jaguar used social media to disclose that she was going to battle with some compelling people in the industry who claimed that they have been stealing from her for years, and that she was done keeping quiet about it. Then, we find out that she was the only victim in a car accident that claimed her life. Jaguar is now screaming foul play and has a lot to say. So let's get to the bottom of her claim. Angie Stone was born on December 18, 1961, and grew up in a home where both faith and music were valued. Her parents exposed her to gospel music at a young age, which paved the way for her lifelong love of singing. The church served as the cornerstone of her upbringing, musical journey that gave her the opportunity to hone her voice and establish a spiritual connection with music. Her father, a dedicated member of a gospel quartet in Columbia, South Carolina, helped to foster her talent by frequently taking her to live performances by some of the most renowned gospel groups, such as the Gospel Keynote and the Singing Angels. In addition to routinely singing at the First Nazareth Baptist Church, where she honed her vocal abilities and gained the confidence that would eventually define her, Angie's passion for music was further fueled by these stirring performances, which also helped her grasp the craft. As Angie grew older, her musical taste grew as well. Although she finally rose to prominence in the neo-soul movement, her unique style and rich, soulful voice struck a chord with fans and served as an inspiration to a new generation of musicians, such as Erykah Badu, Jill Scott, Lyfe Jennings, and Mariah Carey. However, her talents went beyond neo-soul. She had an equally important influence on hip-hop and rap, working with innovative artists and influencing the genre's changing sound. Through her legacy as one of the most significant voices in contemporary history and music, Angie's influence transcends artistic boundaries. Was only 16 years old. By joining forces with Cheryl the Pearl Cook and Gwendol Blondie Chisholm, Angie Stone was already creating history. They formed the first female hip-hop group, The Sequence, which immediately attracted Sugar Hill Records' attention and signed a contract. Creating waves with songs like Funk You Up wasn't just a hit, it was also influential. Dr. Dre sampled it, and it even helped Mark Ronson and Bruno Mars shake Uptown Funk. However, this is where things get messy. The Sequence never received royalties or credit for their work, which led them to sue Mark Ronson for copyright infringement. Not content to stop there, Angie joined the electro-funk and hip-hop trio Mantronic. As Angie's career progressed, she found success as a songwriter and solo artist, recording 11 studio albums and blessing fans with hits like I Wish, I Didn't Miss You No More Rain Brother, and I Want to Thank You. Her talent also placed her in rooms with legends. Prior to coming into the spotlight as the lead singer of Vertical Hold, the group gave R&B fans classics like Seems You're Much Too Busy. She collaborated closely with Prince and Lenny Kravitz, even playing the saxophone for Lenny. She also formed a group named DeVal with Lenny's cousin Jerry DeVal, but one of her most important contributions to music was played in the background. Although they were intimately linked at the time, Angie's contribution to D'Angelo's sound was significant. She helped write and produce the vocals for his Voodoo and Brown Sugar albums, which became pivotal points in his career. In the end, their time together was poisonous, and things were difficult behind the music. Angie was a major contributor to D'Angelo's music, but let's face it, his ego probably prevented him from appreciating the full extent of her contribution. Instead, he minimized her impact, and that ultimately led to their breakup. But D'Angelo wasn't the only one who attempted to shortchange Angie. She once expressed her disappointment when she discovered that Mary J. Blige had stolen some of the songs she had collaborated on with D'Angelo, specifically Every Day and Die. Mary then renamed D to Paradise and released it without giving Angie credit. And to make matters worse, Angie also had to deal with another artist who was copying her. Jill Scott's record label had her observing Angie's every action, from her appearance to her attire, in an attempt to replicate her appearance and mannerisms. Angie's supervisory group wasn't particularly seeking for. Whether it was due to carelessness or incapacity, they missed many opportunities, including acting parts. One of the biggest setbacks was that she was initially expected to land the part that Jill Scott eventually played in the #1 Ladies Detective Agency. But instead of securing that career-defining moment, her team made a mistake, and the opportunity slipped right out of their hands. Now, this is where things take a truly shady turn. Just weeks before she passed away, Angie was preparing to sue the company for unpaid royalties because she had had enough of being shortchanged and was prepared to fight for. Her management, label, and almost everyone in her professional circle, in her opinion, had totally failed her. They allegedly pocketed millions of dollars while she continued to work without seeing the money she had earned. It seemed as though she was working tirelessly on her music, while everyone else was sitting back and taking checks for their labor.
They're one of the biggest companies that I was with, Universal Music. It's the second part of the ugly truth. We began to research things to check on my royalties and my statements and things that of that nature, only to find out a lot of my publishing, a lot of my royalties, my mechanicals, they have all pretty much been stolen. As I begin to find out things that I never had to look into, because when you hire a team of people that, to some degree, supposed to have your back, you're thinking that they're getting it all together for you. You know, that's why, I respect Oprah Winfrey in that respect when she said, do your own research. Just known as a celebrity. That I let a lot of important things slip through the cracks only because I didn't know any better. I worked very hard to take care of my kids as a single mother, and I'm being transparent. My kids' fathers just were not doing what they're supposed to do. So I had to step up and go in and do everything that I needed to do for my family, which is why I worked so hard, which is why I traveled so much, which is why I did shows, because at the end of the day, after 40-something years in the business, I'm like, well, why? Where are my royalties going? Because I'm not getting this. Come to find out, Universal Music has been receiving all my royalties, all my mechanicals. They've taken pretty much everything. They've stolen, I won't say stolen, but they have taken all the monies that were due to me. They have basically absorbed in that company. And even though there's several class action lawsuits, people that were working on my behalf never even registered the songs. All the songs that I've done, I'm only coming to find out they were not properly registered by the companies that I signed over to. that was supposed to do their due diligence. So I am truly a walking testimony that God has carried me all this time, because if you only knew how much money they have taken from me, how much they have stolen from me, monies that I'm supposed to be, I should have been able to retire 20 years ago with the money I've made, supposedly. But there are key people that have been driving the ships. And what they've been doing is improperly representing me, improperly stealing from me, taking things in their own hand, changing and switching lanes because they knew I didn't know that part. See, I'm not an attorney. I don't know everything. What I learned how to do was go out, work hard, get paid, come home, pay my bills, take care of my family. That part. The legal side, when you hire attorneys and managers and agents, they're supposed to make sure the gray area over there that they're in the driver's seat for, they're supposed to make sure you're taken care of. And even though they were taking care of themselves, they thought very little of taking care of me. And I know because I've seen it with my own eyes. So I'm just here to let you know, one way or the other, Universal Music, you're gonna have to give up my coins.
Because the music industry has a long history of snatching up artists who dare to fight back. It wouldn't be the first time an artist mysteriously died after challenging the status quo. Given that Angie is getting ready to file a lawsuit, some people are wondering if her situation was more than just an unfortunate accident. This is because Angie's outspokenness about calling out those who wronged her has left fans with many questions, particularly about whether there could be any connection between her accident and those unpaid royalties. Cannot help but raise questions about how terrible the accident was, but she was the only one who survived. To be clear, nobody is hoping for more deaths, but for some people, the math simply doesn't add up. There is even conjecture that Angie might have already left before the crash occurred, which only adds more suspicion to an already suspicious situation. There is undoubtedly much more going on than we are aware of, according to Jaguar Wright, who asserts that Angie was supposedly silenced because she was about to expose some influential individuals.
What do they want?
What do you mean? They want their payment. They want their pound of flesh. They want you to keep feeding the system. Doesn't matter how hard she worked for it. That's not her money. That's their money. That's what they do. They've been robbing me for years.
Yep.
They stole more money from me than they stole from Angie. I can't stop thinking about Nick Carter. And Aaron Carter. I can't stop thinking. Brother in the Illuminati, brother not in the Illuminati. Brother in the Illuminati commits all kinds of heinous crimes against women, and he's okay, but his brother's double. And all he wanted was his money so he could push on. Like, how many of these things have to happen in front of the public? Of course they're going to attack, I'll be sure. Of course they're going to attack me. Of course they're going to attack anybody who's interested in the truth. Of course they're going to come at us really hard for that first 72 hours and make sure we stop posting, or at least get us flagged from being able to go live so nobody thinks about the details of the fact that we just watched Angie Stone get moved around in real time on her son's.
This is weird, kid, but I suppose we shouldn't be too shocked, given what we've learned about the industry and the influential individuals who control it. Nevertheless, please share your thoughts in the comments section below, and then watch this other video.